lie. I be rolling with you, mommy, I be feeling the motion. When I'm inside you, I be deep as the ocean. When it comes to your love, can't lie, it be strong as a potion. That's why me and you forever be coasting. Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's another episode of Sparking Conversation, y'all. Y'all know what we do, what we spark and we conversate. But like I say all the time, man, thank y'all, each and every person, man, that be going out, taking time to download the audio version of this podcast and be checking that out. Shout out to all the people that be subscribing. Shout out to all the people that be liking and commenting and all that other stuff, man. That's so dope, man, especially those of y'all that jump on when we live. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate y'all, man, for real. Y'all be keeping things going, and it's so dope, man. Yo, shout out to all the links that's in the description, too, yo. So y'all know how we do, man. If y'all need some of the things that we offering, y'all know what to do. Check the link out in the description, and, you know, you'll see what we got cooking out here. So before I bring the crew on and shit, man, I just wanted to, I wanted to say something, before we get started. Like, you know, what we're going to talk about today is going to be something totally different than what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say this, though, yo. I'm a firm believer in, you know, doing what you say you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, I think that when we'll all be put in a position sometimes where, you know, things don't always go the way that we plan it, or things don't always go the way that we want it to go. But the one thing that we cannot deny is that, you know, nothing won't go the way that we want it or even try if we don't try. You know what I mean? Or we don't do the things that we say we're going to do. You know, that leaves us in a space of incomplete. I know for me, like anytime I say I'm going to do something, I make sure that I try to do it. If I can't do it, I let a person know if I can't do it, if it's something that I got to do for a person. I also feel like, you know, we as people, we be living a way that is just contradictory to what I really, you know, what our real spirit is. You know what I mean? Like we be feeling like, you know, we could do everything ourselves. I know me for a fact. I got to speak for myself when it comes to this. You know, that whole Superman syndrome, that shit corny, yo. You know what I mean? Getting up each and every day, still putting forth the effort, that's not. But getting up each and every day thinking that you could do all this shit by yourself, that's corny. Because if you was meant to do everything by yourself, it would just be you. And you know that, like in life, there's so many times that we can see about things that we've gone through or things that we want to go through. And we always, maybe at some point, I don't know about everybody, I know some people don't like help because they be thinking people gonna hold it against them or hold it over their head like they helped them and shit. But I don't know, man. I just think it come a point in time where even Superman, you know what I'm saying, he gotta hang his cape up for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, just put it up. You know, you can put it back on, but sometimes you got to put it off. You know what I mean? Just take it off for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Wash it, because, you know, your shit might stink, yo. If you, it's just like anything else. If you don't wash it, your shit going to stink. Can you imagine what a cape smell like? You don't ever take it off, especially around the neck part. That shit stink, yo, because you don't ever take the shit off because you too busy flying around everywhere. You flying around, you saving all kind of shit, and then by the time you do take the cape off, your whole neck smell like ass, and you don't even know why. You just smell it. You don't know if it's your breath or what. You don't know because it's just coming up from that neck area and shit like that. Because you don't take your fucking cape off, and then you don't know. Especially as a man, I know it's hard for us to take our cape off because that comes with something like vulnerability and shit like that. You know, but I don't know. I just want to say this to everybody out there, man, that's got something that they say they're going to do, man. Just do what you say you're going to do. If you got a goal and it's a mission in life that you feel like it's somewhere that you're supposed to be, just keep pushing, man. Take each day at a time and just walk one step. If that's all you can take is one step up, just do that, yo, because that's one step closer, man. All right, I'm going to get off that, man, because, you know, there's so much I could say about that, yo, but I'm not, you know, because that ain't what we're going to talk about tonight. So tonight gonna be a little different. I got a couple of questions that we're gonna talk about because Florida have been in the news. Florida jumping, and it's a lot of other states that's following suit with the decisions that's going on in these red states. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. So I'm gonna bring the crew on real quick. And y'all know how we do. We gonna get it popping. Let's see who we got. We got Meek in the building. What's going on, Meek?
What up?
All
What
right, C double. How
up?
you
What's
doing, y'all?
up?
All right. Y'all doing all right?
Yeah.
Another week down, y'all. Another week down and shit.
No, it's just Tuesday.
Yes,
It's
I
sir.
mean,
just
look. I'm speaking from last Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like we go from Tuesday to Tuesday around here. One day we won't have to live for the weekend. You know what I mean? Like every day could be the weekend if you need it to be.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying? So Meek, I see you in the car tonight. What we doing, y'all? What's going on?
Yeah. Why you in my business? Like,
Because I mean, you on that phone right now. Oh no, you always be on your phone, don't you? I know your car running. Have your joint plugged in too, because you know I don't want it to black out before the show is over.
Ooh, he tried it.
shut the fuck up.
No.
I'm so
I'm
sick
just
of you.
saying. Yeah, I just want everybody to be, everybody to be good. Y'all know Kev gonna jump in a little bit. Y'all know he fresh off of saving a few people, so you know Kev gonna be in the building in a minute. You know how that goes. But yo, I want to say this before we get into the show, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, Saturday filming was pretty dope. Like, y'all, I don't know how y'all got y'all jobs in real life.
That's not how we do interviews in real life, okay? I would never say the things that I said.
Y'all, I also saw where food give life. Listen, when a person is hungry, if you get them some food, they gonna change. Their life gonna change. It's a difference between somebody begging for some money and somebody who definitely needs something, yo. You know what I'm saying? Because they be specific as hell. So I want to shout out. Word. I want to shout that out because that's real shit. So yeah, y'all. So Florida, right? So what's been going on in Florida is that they got this new law where they ending alimony. Did y'all hear about that? Now, they already taking Black history out of schools already in Florida. They don't want to teach it. They don't want to have nothing to do with it because they feel like, they don't want to feel guilty. Like they shouldn't have to feel guilty for what they not doing right now and all this other shit. So they don't want to teach it. And then now they getting rid of alimony. So that means that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a lot of women who made their living off of marrying people and then divorcing them because boom, you're gonna have to pay that alimony. So for the longest time, well, recently in at least about the last 6 or 7 months, they've been talking about their marriage. Marriage has been in a real decline because they're saying men have been finding themselves, women have been being incentivized to divorce because, when it boils down to it, like you get divorced, you're going to have to pay for the rest of your life. Well, not in Florida, not no more. So you fuck around and you want to get married, y'all go to Florida. Like go to Florida and get married, yo, because the governor like, nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? When you get divorced, it's a dub for you, yo. You ain't getting no more money after that. Like, why? Because then they said that it was women, because women be mad. Like it's a bunch of videos out there. They mad too. They like, yo, I took care of the kids and I raised the kids, so I'm supposed to. And they be like, yo, but the kid, your kid 30. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't took care of your kids since he was 18, yo. You still getting paid, yo. What are we doing here? And you won't get remarried because they don't want to stop that income coming in. So men that's been wealthy, they've been doing that. So what y'all think about that? I know y'all, I don't know, but what y'all think about that? No alimony, y'all. No alimony.
I feel like, oh, see, that depends, right? See, if it's more for like wealthy, like those rich, that class of people, I feel as though anytime you're in a marriage, right? It's like team effort. Most men want their lady to be more attentive to the kids, to be home, yada yada yada. I get that, especially with the particular class that they're talking about. I feel like it's not fair when you have to force, especially if she's one that's capable of bringing in income as well. You forcing her to not work for all these years. Y'all married all these years. You decide all of a sudden, I'm getting sick of her. I'm tired of looking at her face. I'm tired of her eating up my money. I'm gonna divorce her. And then you divorce her and you leave her with not like I feel like when it's something like that, like when you're forcing your wife to not work because you feel like she have other civil duties, which makes all the sense in the world. Like, you got other duties, you guys agree, okay, cool. But when you're forcing her to not work because you feel like that priority is a bigger, is more important, and then you divorce her and not at least pay her until she's able to at least get on her feet. I don't know. This is something like that is bullshit. But you do got some people that scam. They be in and they marry people just for the sake of, okay, if I last these many years, I could divorce them, cash out on a check. I mean, if it's something like that, I feel like that rule should apply. Like to make it like straight across the board, no. But to make it a like result in like, yeah, that should very much so apply, but not with a wife that spent 10 or 15 or 18 or whatever amount of years. Like, you know how hard it is as a woman to have no working experience for that, or a person, not even a woman, I'm not even gonna put no gender on it, for a person in general that have no work experience for that amount of time, for you to throw them out like hot, like, what are you doing? What?
But you know what though? But 85% of divorces are by women. Women are the initiators of divorce. A lot of the men don't be getting divorced. Like, it'd be the women. 85% of marriages right now that lead into divorce are because women have divorced their husband. So I don't know if it's based on whether you divorce or they divorce you. Like, I don't know if that really matters, but I agree with you when it comes to I don't know about force. Like, I don't know. Well, I can't necessarily say, because I have heard that men that make a certain amount of money don't want their women working. You get what I'm saying? But I also know that that's a form of control too, because they don't feel like, you know what I mean? They want them around other men. So I get that too, and whatever the woman agrees on in a relationship, I guess that's on her. That ain't my business. But I do believe, like, from what you're saying, I agree. Like, if she was not allowed to like develop any type of skill, like anything, because I'm sure I can't say all women don't be aspiring to do something. Men are not too much different when it comes to that. If you got dreams and goals, like you want to
go after them Jones, yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But then if a person come through and be like, "Yo, you don't got to do that. I'm gonna take care of everything." And then whether he divorced or you divorce, like, it don't even matter. Like, at that particular point in time, like, well, maybe this is a better question. Let me ask y'all this. So, is there a certain time frame in a marriage that when the kids get a certain part, certain age, women should try to go figure out something, no matter what, even if he's not really like saying she has to? But is this something that she should try to figure out?
I mean, of course, I think it's important to learn any type of skill. Like, I feel like with most women, and I can only speak from that perspective, that do have to attend to like their kids, is like you like what you need is not important. Like, you have other priorities, so you prioritize things a little bit different, and you kind of lose yourself, which is why us as women go through the whole swing of we lose ourselves, we try to re-innovate ourselves, and then it's like we on this power trip, or how people see a power trip, because it's like, no, like, I know how I feel, yada yada yada, I'm trying to get my shit back, and people like, oh no, it's just, so when we go through this wave, so I feel like at a certain time, yeah, it is important to like develop some type of skill, or at least tap into what you used to do, like tap back into you type shit, and don't feel bad, especially if you're an active mom 24/7. This message is definitely not for the deadbeats. This is a disclaimer. I'm saying that shit now. I'm not talking about the ones that be dropping their fucking kids off to their parents. You always say never got your kids because you always on somebody's scene. I'm talking ones that really be beating themselves up because they really be having they always taking care of their kids. They really don't have no help. It's either them and a partner, or it's just them type shit. So it's like, don't be scared to say no. Like, fuck that. At a certain age, when your kids get to a point where they are responsible, they can talk, or whatever is comfortable for you, yeah, go venture off and figure out, like, tap back into you. That's it. Do your shit.
Right. What you think, Kat?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. These are a little weird for me. I don't know. It's a very good question. I feel like when the children get school age and all of your kids are in school, you need something to do with that idle time. My kids, I think school started at 8. You drop them off at 8, you pick them up at 3:30. For them 7.5 hours, find something to do. And I don't care if you want to be a basket weaver. Find something that gives your day purpose. Find something that you can use to make money. I don't care if we go to the flea market on the weekend and sell your baskets. Learn how to make candles. Join a book club. Do something that's going to give you a little bit of sense of identity for yourself and give you some fulfillment. When you think back about a lot of the businesses, like Mary Kay, for example, is a business that had kids at home. They would do that. They would do Mary Kay because they're able to be around their friends, sell products that are going to make them and their friends feel better. And it's on their own schedule around the kids' schedule. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, get a trade, go to school, with online classes. You can take some 10 to 2 classes or something just to have something, because you never want to ever be in a situation where if that person leaves, you don't have your own 2 feet to stand on. So I don't care if it's something that small or if you go to nursing, he worked during the day, you go to nursing school at night. I don't care what it is, but just do something. Because you just never want to get left in that position. And, I've never heard a person be like, no, I don't want you to do any personal development. I don't care how much money I make. I would always want whoever I'm with to do personal development. I want them to have something that gives them a sense of, a value.
Purpose. Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, but I agree. I agree with both of y'all on them points. Like, because sometimes in relationships, man, y'all know how it is. The grown-ups be so mad at each other that they forget about the children as the most important portion of that. You know what I'm saying? Or if you could find a means to kind of, be right in the middle when it comes to things. But I agree with both of y'all. There comes a point in time where if a person is forced to not be able to do something on their own because it'll get backlash or whatever, and they just was meant to be some type of housewife type scenario, then, like you said, CJ, like fam gonna need to pay them. No matter who leave, you gonna have to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Cab, like, yo, if you sitting there and you an able-bodied person, I don't care how much money this man making or what he doing. Like, you got to find you regardless of what that is. Because once them kids go to school, you got that time sitting there. I really don't get what that time is for. Like, I get people be like, yo, I be cleaning the house and washing clothes and all that. Now, I understand, like, having children, too. Like, you always cleaning up, picking up, always doing some shit behind these kids. Like, I'm be honest, like, you cleaning every day. Like, you clean up just to clean up, fucking with kids, yo. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But
that's right.
But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? When that opportunity come through, like, or not even that, like you might have to multitask, because at the end of the day, if he wasn't rich and you would have had to get a 9 to 5 just to maintain that crib, your ass would have been out the house for them 7-8 hours making something shake. Kids be all up in daycare, coming back home sneezing and snotty and dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? So, Meek, what you think, y'all? Because I know you blacked out for a second. You back, though?
Shut up. The storm got me fucked up, I'm telling you. No, I agree with what both of them was saying. Like CJ said, if she was forced to take care of the house, do all those things, not get those opportunities to do something, then yeah, alimony should be paid. But like Kev said, like what are you doing once the kids go to school? Like, you need to have something for yourself. Me personally, I don't think I'm made to be a housewife. I can't do housewife shit because that's not for me. Like, I need to have my hands busy. I need to be doing something. I need to be making money in some shape, form, or fashion to feel comfortable with myself. So, but not every woman is like that. Some. Some women actually want to be a housewife. That's what they strive for. I actually know this lady who basically went from her dad's house to her husband's house, and then when they got divorced, she had no fucking skills. Like, even still, she has any skills to take care of herself on a real life level. And to be in your 40s, your 50s, and not know how to take care of yourself, and needing a man to get you to get your oil changed, or to do simple shit that you should know about, you should know, because from life, you should just know these things. And the fact that you were that sheltered and that reliant on other people, like, it could never be me. Like, it could never be me. I could never fully trust somebody to take care of everything.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that's important too. I want to ask then, that goes into my next question then, how, because in that dynamic, when it comes to alimony, is really always like, 9 times out of 10 the men paying the woman. I'm not saying it don't happen on the other end. It's a smaller percentage, but it still happens. But how important is it for a man to actually support the woman that he's with? Like, how important do y'all feel like that is to y'all? Because as some people claim themselves as independent, they just feel like long as they got the opportunity to do what they need to do, they don't really care about if somebody supports them or not. But when it comes down to those situations where the men are the breadwinners, and then it comes down to gender roles, because I think that's where the breakdown comes in. Like, it's a gender role. Like, the man make the money, so he like, yo, you stay home, you kick it with the kids and shit like that. Kids need to be with you. And, 9 times out of the kid need to spend just as much time with the dad as they do the mom. It don't really matter about who making the money. You know what I'm saying? But how important is it, do y'all think, that men actually, support their women in their actual goals that they speak to say that they want to do? Because there's a lot of relationships where that don't happen. I talk to a lot of women, even, all the time, and they be wishing they had somebody that would support them in their dreams and shit like that. So what do y'all think? How important is it? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think that a man should support a woman's dream, even if he do got money and shit already?
That's very important. What? That is very important. Because what? Like, that's no questions. Like, what? I don't know.
I mean, look, I get it. Like, you feel like it's important, but there are people either who they get that, they either take it for granted, or there are people who are in a position where they would like to get support from their men. You know what I mean? From women. I'm just speaking from women, because on the other, we could go on the other hand all the time, but we, in this particular aspect, we talking about alimony and shit like that, and whether a woman is either forced or allowed, which is kind of like really weird terms to use when it comes to another human being, or whether they allowed to figure out themselves in a way where they could bring in some money. Even if they had to take care of themselves, they could do something to bring in some income, even if it ain't for the actual bills of the crib. So, I mean, how important is that? Should the women just be like, regardless if this dude support me or not, I need to be out here jumping out the window?
I think, you should support regardless. Now, whether how that person reacts or not, you still need to do what's going to work best for you. And, because at the end of the day, everybody say they want to run into these situations. They think they got the perfect mate until some real shit hit the fan. And something like this, if I'm with somebody that's trying to stop my development as a person, unfortunately, you're just not for me. Like, I thought all these years, 10, 15, whatever amount of years, that you was that guy. But when or that girl, and then when the opportunity presents itself that I want to better myself, now you're not trying to support me in that sense. So, shit, maybe it's the first step to the road or your excellentness or your journey. I feel like it's highly important, but I don't think it should determine whether somebody should make the move that's best for them when it comes to them doing some type of like development. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I can dig that. What you think, Kev?
Support is such a strong word, and it's a word that I think we use for a lot of different things. Whether if I'm dating a doctor and she making 200-some thousand a year, I'm not financially supporting that woman. So it would be a different type of support. Maybe I'm picking up slack in other areas that she can't do. And if the shoe's on the other foot, if she leaves me and I'm making 40 grand, do she owe me alimony now because she was a breadwinner and I had to pick up the slack in other areas, pick the kids up, drop the kids off, learn how to braid some hair or something? Like, it's so support is different. You know, support is different because sometimes, you know, different people need different connection. They need different assistance, different help, you know, and it's just tough when you have a dynamic of people who are just raised different. I mean, you know, you may not value the fact that I wake up before you, I go to bed after you, and I try to make sure that every single deadline is always made. But I didn't buy you flowers on Friday. So you're like, oh, you don't, you know, emotionally support me. Well, damn.
Gotcha.
I'm doing all these other different things. But now, you know what I'm saying, it's like you're throwing darts at a dartboard just hoping to hit something, because you're not going to be able to be everything to that person. And that's where I think that people try to lean into their dominant sides. And if the number one thing that you can do is make money and say, well, hey, I can pay bills, I can do that, you know, and if I do that, you do all of this, it just depends on what, you know, what they agree to, kind of what they want. Because there's a lot of people that are out here just struggling together, you know, both of them struggling. And, you know, sometimes the only support they can give is, hey, can you hold the baby for just 15 minutes so I can go and take a shower? And then maybe that's all that person can do because they're exhausted too. So I don't know.
No. I mean, I get what you're saying, because you're right. It depends on the way a person sees the help that they get. A lot of people don't always appreciate the support that they get because it's not coming the way that they feel like it should come. Or, you know how people do the whole thing of they want you to love them the same way they love you, as if you don't have your own love language. Right. And then whenever you express that to people, I think it's hard for them to grasp because it's not part of their journey of their love language. So they can only see theirs. You know what I mean? Because it takes that type of scenario to be able to support a person, and to the point where you feel like, yo, like I'm supporting you the best way I know how. Now, what type of support do you need? Because like you said, Kev, you could get up before a person, go to bed after a person all day and make sure everything else is clicking on them ends. But like, yo, you ain't get me no, like you said, you ain't get no flowers, or you ain't get me this stuff. So now emotionally, I don't feel supported. Yeah, you financially supporting me, but I need somebody to do this and do that. And then you like, well, damn.
Yeah, but that's where the conversation come in. I think that most of the time when, you know, I feel like people do have a hard time. Some people have a hard time, and a lot of people highlight the fact that people have a hard time articulating themselves. Like, if you're right, you know, he could be doing everything. He could be financially supporting, but if you know, not even you know, if she's mentioning the fact that the emotional support is the next thing that need to be worked on, just move, let's all just move to the next step. Let's move to, instead of looking at it like, oh, I can't do nothing right, or I'm not capable of doing so. It's when you with somebody, you learn to somebody, you gotta understand every 7 to 10 years a person change. A person change. The person that you with, if you've been with somebody that you've been with for years, do you think that person now is the same as the person that you met way back a couple years ago? No, a person changed when you're in a relationship. So that's why it's easy when you have a lot of young girls that don't give a fuck about nothing else as long as he got the money. But the older she get, the wiser she get, and she know that it's more shit that come with that money. I need that emotion. I need that X, Y, and Z, and I know that he need that shit too. Like you don't realize that shit until you grow. You grow with that person. So I don't think that it was necessarily like throwing darts. I just think that people look at the fact that how that person may be saying or how they may be expressing it, and they just, it's how they receiving that shit. It's how they digesting that shit. But if you really sit down and you know a person, or you at least, you know, decipher what they really trying to say, like it's some shit you can really get through. That's why a lot of people can't be in relationships. A lot of people lack the companionship. That's why a lot of people also struggle with this whole gender role and what one person should do and shouldn't do. At the end of the day, what makes a relationship is a companionship. It's easy. If I could be with a business partner that's going to take care of all my fucking bills, it's a contract agreement. You take care of my bills and I take care of your sexual needs. Deal. We can do that and have no issue. Why? Because I'm not looking for no emotional connection, which I'm not looking for none of that shit because I know what I'm here for. But when you're in a relationship, that's a companionship. It's a lot more that come with that. And people don't grasp the concept of that shit, or people don't have successful relationship because of that shit. So I don't know. It varies. I don't know. Shit just varies, and it's all about
you hit the nail on the head about the communication part, right? Because when you express yourself to people, right, it's up to them on how they're gonna process it, right? But it's up to them to understand that they've been told. I think a lot of times people think that when you say something today because you didn't say it tomorrow, it's changed. You know what I mean? Versus having a conversation about the change, because emotional support is something that both parties need in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like both adults need emotional support.
Right.
It just might be a little bit different in the sense of what it may be between a man and a woman. But emotional support, sometimes a man just want to come home and not have to hear nothing that got to do with anything negative. That could be emotional support. Or a woman might want to do that too. If she used to coming home and then as soon as she get in the door, you know, you came home 15 minutes later than you normally do. Like, what happened? You know, like all that extra dumb shit that people do. Like, instead of asking, instead of just being like thankful that the person is home and shit, they count, you know, so it's like things that people go through and they don't, communication is like a thing that people take for granted. They don't believe that, you know, when a person tells them something, that they shouldn't believe it. Like if the person is telling you what they need and how it is, and you're not understanding it, or you're not grasping it, like you're not, like you still walking around here like they didn't say that shit, yo. The person told you, like, yo, like I
did it, like I'm trying to figure it out. What you figuring it out? I
told you. Like there's nothing for you to figure out if I'm telling you, yo. Like, yo, listen, this is what I need. If you're not able to give that, then say that. Because then when a person is brought in to do that, you can't be upset. Because see, that's when it gets into the whole, now you got this. Like, no, listen, I'm telling you, like, yo, I need this. And then now we going through a conversation where you just like, okay, I bet. And then you just keep going like, I ain't tell you. Like, listen, you can't be upset. Now, me, I know your joint jumped off for a minute, but like, what do you think when it comes to that, yo? Do you, because like Kev said, support get tricky because the person that you're with may not see the support the way that you give it. They might want it from another perspective. So what you think?
That's what I feel. I feel like support looks different for different people. You know, like you guys were saying, some people need financial support, some people need emotional support, and that communication is key in that. And if somebody is being direct and telling you exactly what it is they need or they require, if that's not within your wheelhouse, if you're not capable of providing that, you guys it needs to be separated. You know, like there's no way if I'm being direct with you, telling you exactly what I need, and you're doing the exact opposite or staying within your comfort zone. For instance, if somebody needs emotional support, that's not your thing. And so you feel like you can do it a different way or however you feel comfortable, even though they told you, hey, I need this. I need you to say these kinds of things. I need this amount of intimacy, you know, all of the things, they're laying it out for you. And those are not your comfort levels. And so you're just not providing it. That's not fair. You know, if it's being spoken, if the person is being very clear with you about what support looks like for them, either give it to them or move the fuck away. Like, I just hate when people wasting people's time. Like, it just, you wasting valuable years of my life, you know, like,
move
around. Move around, let somebody else do it. That's not your job. You ain't capable of it. It's not to say that you're less than. It's not, if you needed something and you're telling somebody exactly what you need and they're not providing that for you,
why are you there? Right.
Yeah. Like, so, that to me doesn't make sense.
So there's no such thing as like an 80-20 rule because nobody's gonna have everything. So some of these things could be minute. You never listen to me. Well, maybe you need to go talk to a therapist. Maybe you need to talk to a professional that does certain things that I can't do for you. Like, I mean, it's you gotta. And then a lot of times are you steadily improving as well? Because from the example that we gave, we talked about basically a person who wasn't allowed to step outside the house and do any type of like personal development or personal improvement. So that meatloaf recipe gets old. It gets old. Like, are you adding to your repertoire? Maybe since I've changed in the 7 years that you mentioned, and now my palate has changed and what I desire has changed, should I then scale back what I'm doing because you haven't elevated what you're doing? Or you expect me to keep adding and adding and adding and
I don't
adding?
think we're talking about the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, I don't think
Rock connected.
No,
from what I was saying, it doesn't feel like it's connecting.
No.
With what I'm
based on what both of y'all are saying, like I get it. Like it's about the type of support. So basically, if what Kev is saying, like when it comes to the emotional support, like when you're with a person and y'all have these communications, and you say, like a person say, "Yo, you don't ever listen to me," which was the example. Like, you don't really listen to what I be saying. And then Kev was like, "Well, look, then you might need to go talk to a therapist." Now, that's in the sense of if the person is telling you that you don't listen to them because there's things going on with them that they want you to hear. But if it's things that's going on with y'all in between y'all and they want to talk about that type of thing,
how you going?
Then that's when
that's where I was like.
So why do people go to couples counseling?
What?
Why do people go to couples counseling then if it's not bringing in another party to hear it? Because people have different communication styles. So you may not hear what I'm saying just because you don't like my tone and temperament. I may not like what you say or hear what you say because of your tone or temperament. You may complain to me about something and I give you a solution and you don't like my solution and you don't apply my solution. So next time you ask me about the exact same thing, you expect me to be just as eager to hear it as I was the first time? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to get outside counsel. People do it all the time. Like, that's why when people are going through stuff, they go to couples therapy. Before you get divorced, they want you to go to therapy. They want you to talk to someone else who can try to find a different perspective because you are locked into your perspective. I can't even point that way. You're locked into your perspective. So we'll never see eye to eye on that if we don't have someone in between that can say, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. When this person is saying this is what they mean. Because there are people who are felt, found. There are people who are, and the other senses. People's communication style is different. So that's why support looks different. And that's why you may feel like a person's not supporting you. People look at support and, if y'all watch, all three of us, four of us here, we watch one video. We all watch the video. That's 4 views. If only 2 of us share it, the person who posted the video could be like, man, only half y'all support me. Well, I supported you by watching the video. Well, you didn't share it. So now my level of support isn't enough for you because now you want me to do another step.
Well, that's what I was saying about being specific. So if they're telling you specifically, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I just didn't think that it went along with what I was saying. Your points are very valid. And I understand exactly the perspective that you're coming from. I just don't think it was applying to what I meant or what I was trying to get across. But I agree. I agree.
Gotcha. And what I would like to say, even when it gets to the point of counseling, here's the thing that that it kind of bothers me a little bit because people are affected by outside people all the time. You get what I'm saying? People be on social media when people know you're in a relationship. People be on social media asking questions, but not asking the person. So they go to the other person. So say, like, for example, whenever you in a relationship with somebody and other people know that, your partner or your selected partner listen to outside voices and stuff already. Whether they allow it to line up with the way they feel, or whether somebody brings something to their attention where they feel like, that's what I'm thinking, knowing that it's not the way that it is. So whenever you go to counseling, I feel like at the point where you cannot communicate and you have to go to someone else in order to try to help y'all weed through it, the relationship is pretty much doomed because you're not going to continue to keep going to a counselor. And because of it being a thing that you relied on in order to get through, I feel like, yo, after a while, y'all gonna be in counseling every time y'all have a disagreement because y'all feel like it's there. Or a person is gonna go to counseling and the counselor is gonna be leaning more towards one person's perspective, because that happens too. And then now the other person feels like they're getting jumped. Or now they feel like they're not being understood because of their point of view. So that's the only thing I think about when it comes to the relationship in couples. If y'all can't communicate between each other, I'm gonna let you jump in, see. If y'all can't communicate within each other to a point where y'all could come to some type of agreement, then a third person or another person coming in, it's only gonna be a band-aid. It's gonna be a band-aid. It ain't gonna be stitches. It ain't gonna be that thing that's gonna help heal it. It's only gonna be a band-aid. That's just my opinion. What you gonna say, see?
I feel like that varies off of the like. Well, have any one of you guys you ever went to a couples therapist?
No,
I did.
So the purpose of a therapist isn't to help you decipher what one person mean because they have an issue with articulating themselves. Like, they definitely help with that person because there's a reason why you have a problem with articulating yourself. Like, they dig a little deeper versus just looking at him like, oh, okay, what's the issue? And what she say? And what he say? Well, she said this because of da-da-da. That's not no. What they teach you how to do is to learn how to open up your perspective, tap deeper into you to try to figure out why you view things and you have a perspective of things the way you do. They really dig deep and figure out if that situation is even really for y'all. And as you go, I don't think it's more so of like a therapist leaning to one person versus the other, because at the end of the day, it's a whole you being biased. I don't think nobody is going to jeopardize their license to do no shit like that, because right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, if you got one person that's being more aggressive or being more unethical than the other person, then I don't see the therapist siding with with the person that's not like, nah, you need to correct your behavior. So at some point they're gonna realize who the fuck the problem is, and that's what they're gonna work on. So I don't know. I think that for some people, they have a hard time with opening their mind or even having that type of trust with their partner. It's a reason why. And sometimes you do need to talk to an external party to tap deep inside to figure out what the issue is so that you can better your situation. Like, I can sit here and tell you all day long, if this situation happened and this situation happened, this is how you're supposed to carry it. No, because at the end of the day, all situations is different and you got to take different approaches. So right. I don't know. I just feel like going to a therapist is not as bad. Now, when you come to realization, like, oh, I thought all this time I was a problem, is really you, and I see that you not trying to, work on it, then shit, the therapist just helped me fucking drop 200 and something pounds. Like, bitch, you can go terrorize somebody else. But I mean, I don't think going seeing a therapist is too much of a bad thing unless you're using it as a sense of validation type shit. Then it's like, you bitches just need to break up.
Right. Because see, that's where the counseling goes into. It goes into a sense of validation. So just being I just be transparent on my own. I can use my own situation. So I went to couples therapy before. Like, I was married before. And so I went to couples therapy, and it was because of that whole thing that everybody kept saying. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all can't communicate, or this person is not hearing you, and then go to counseling. Then when you get there, and then you realize that everything that you're dealing with this person is not even really something that has to do with y'all. It's the person not taking advantage or has not gotten over the things from their past. A lot of times when you go into a new relationship with a person, you wind up being on the end of things that really had nothing to do with you. It got a lot to do with the trauma that they've been through as a child, whether it came from a relationship with an actual partner or a family member, whether mom, dad, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? People be traumatized and they carry that trauma into the next situation. Wow. So a lot of times when people can't communicate or they can't get through the communication part of a relationship, because you know why I feel like that's whack, but because before you even get to a commitment with a person, y'all do nothing but communicate. You're talking on the phone, you texting. Even back in the day, people used to email people. You know what I mean? Like, you write letters. You take all this time communicating, talking to each other talking before you even commit. Y'all go on dates, y'all do all this communication, and then when you finally get into a place of comfortability, now all of a sudden y'all can't talk. Y'all can't come to an agreement. And I'm saying a lot of times, OCW, like what I found out when I went to counseling, we are talking about these different points. And the counselor is saying, well, yo, so have you ever been through this before? Now, once they start asking, digging questions, that's when you as a person start to realize, like, well, damn. So you mean to tell me I'm going through all this because of what somebody else did? I mean, at the end of the day, it always boils down to that. And then other people I've talked to that have gone to counseling, it has always gone down to the couples counselor has told people they need to go to individual counseling afterwards because it's something that they need to fix in them in order to be able to understand the person that they have. Why? Because the person that came to you got trauma too. So the only way that you two people could get in the middle of anything and get any type of understanding is communication. Take it to the same communication that you used before you told somebody, yeah, we could rock out, or yeah, we could do whatever. Because people will give up their ass or give up their penis before they found out if a person is bipolar or not.
I am saying
because you ain't having no conversation, because you ain't asking about the relationship with your mom and your daddy. What happened? People don't want to be vulnerable, so they're not going to tell you everything that they went through. It's just going to come out in certain actions that people have, and a lot of people are affected by their past, whether they want to believe it or not. So when they go get counseling, the number one thing that the counselor said was, yo, before you come get couples counseling, go get counseling of your own first, because then you'll get a perspective about yourself. You might not need to come here. You might get a perspective about yourself and be able to go to your partner and be like, you know what? Let me just say this. I've been lashing out on you, not based on you, but based on something that I have been dealing with internally that I just didn't never deal with. And because you happen to be put in that position, that energy came out towards you. Now, how many people are honest enough to tell a person like, yo, you know what? This is what it is. My bad. Now, you done did the damage to the person. That might not save the relationship. The person still might walk away. But the closure is that, yo, you was able to recognize that, yo, listen, a lot of this miscommunication that we have is based on past trauma and not based on the fact that we have this certain level of respect for each other that we should be able to communicate about anything. It should never turn into an argument. Like, I should never have to argue with you about a point. As adults, we should never have to argue. So that's my whole thing. And I feel like, yo, if we ain't going to deal with what we've been through, how are we going to deal with what we go through? Like everybody say, you got to know where you've been and know where you're going. So how can we do that? If you're not willing to go handle yourself, why you want to go get somebody else to validate you? Like, you ain't even right. So go get you right first. You won't even need that person to validate. You can stand on your square. Like, you know what? I might not be the person for you. Not necessarily because you're a bad person. It's just that I'm not capable of giving you these things because I haven't worked these things out with myself. Yeah, it's going to hurt. But it's going to hurt worse when you constantly telling a person the same thing over and over and they act like they're not getting it. Or they take it for granted as if you will not choose your peace. There's so many relationships out here where people are, you know, they're going through the motions of a relationship because their partner is not willing to pull up. Like you said, Kev, they're not willing to pull up. You got to be on the same page on all aspects. You're not going to agree on everything, but you got to be on the same fucking page, yo. Like, what we doing, yo? Like, look, I know. Everybody don't eat pork. I get that. I know. My name Rashid. I'm not supposed to eat pork by my name. I get that. But if your ass eat pork, what am I going to do? Now I'm about to be mad because you eat pork. Now I'm about to be mad at you. Yo, you eat pork. Why? I'm not eating the shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. You know what I mean? But I care enough about you to be like, yo, you shouldn't be doing this, that, and the third. But if you say I grew up on it, I ain't back. Then I'm gonna let you grow up. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the things about people where you got to learn to accept people for who they are, right? Yeah. Do y'all agree with that or not? Like, do we accept people for who they are? Or do we try to put people in a box of what we want them to be? Because the signs be there the whole time.
What you mean, I guess? Like, let me
Like, look, you know, like, let's just put it like this. Like Tamika said, if a person is being direct with you about what is wrong, and you find yourself in every communication like that with the people, telling them exactly what's wrong, and then they're not capable of trying to fix that wrong, because to them, they don't see it as wrong. So what do you do as the person that's communicating that? Like, yo, I'm telling you, like, listen, you got to stop. All right, put it to you like this. Look, nigga, you got to stop leaving an empty carton in the refrigerator. Why is you putting an empty carton back in the refrigerator? Yo, you should not put an empty carton back in the refrigerator. I bet. I ain't gonna, whatever, man. I should be able to leave what I want. It ain't all gone. It's like, no, Nick, look, don't leave an empty container in the refrigerator. I bet. You come back 3 weeks later, you be like, yo, listen, why you keep putting an empty container back in the refrigerator? Well, that's just what I do. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I'm like, I bet.
Something wrong
3
with
weeks
you.
later. No. I'm just using that as an example. Of course, it'd
Yeah.
be other shit. People petty. But I'm just
Petty.
talking about, it'd be more shit that's serious that people be telling people. You wind up being in these serious conversations with your partner, and you wind up reiterating with them what is wrong. And then in those particular things, they don't feel like that's going to change the way that you feel. Because think about it, y'all. If you, like all of y'all said today, and I agree with each and every one of y'all when it comes to this, like, listen, yo, either you're going to accept the person for who they are, or you're going to have to change you. Like, because that's basically what everybody said. That's what all of y'all said.
Or
like,
move
listen,
on.
There it is. And then you should be able to do it in a way where you feel like, you know what I mean? It's respectable. It should be respect in a relationship if y'all have to move on. Because it's only so much that a person is going to take if it's unbalanced.
Facts.
Everybody is in a relationship that they're not in no more because the shit was unbalanced. I know a lot of people that ain't together no more, not because they beat on each other, not because of finances or nothing. These motherfuckers just can't get right.
Mm-hmm.
Just grow
On the
apart.
Leave. You
Look,
leaving
on the
like-
outside, they look good. On the outside, they look good. They make a good couple.
No. I mean, I ain't gonna leave you if you put in an empty container back in the fridge. But
No.
I
I know, CJ. I know. I'm just saying.
because you got some people that's like, oh no, because I can't take it. Like you got some
I'm
people that
OCD.
find anything to like,
Yeah, the OCD
like-
people will leave you.
yeah, somebody OCD, and that's
They'll
just
leave your ass over a client.
because you fucking nerve. You fucking with that.
You fucking with their mental. If they OCD and you got something and you keep putting the shit out of place and you know that about
They
them,
gonna have a breakdown. They gonna freak the
they
fuck
gonna
out.
break down.
Yeah.
You can't say, yo, listen, that's petty. That ain't nothing for you to worry about. It's like, yo, didn't you agree to be in a relationship with me? Yeah. Didn't I tell you that I was OCD before you said yeah? Yeah. Okay. Work with me. What we doing?
Exactly.
Work with. I told you already what the drill was. Work with me, yo. I shouldn't have to keep telling you. Or you shouldn't look at me like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. You told me you was gonna stop putting the empty container back. Did you not tell me you wasn't gonna? Why are you still doing the dumb shit, yo? Like you told me you was gonna not do that no more. So that's what I'm saying. I know it's petty because it's carton of juice, but what I'm saying is like, yo, when are you gonna accept the person that you with? You gotta accept them for who they are or move on. If they telling you that this is the direction they want to go, it's up to you to say, yo, I want to go that direction with them or not. You shouldn't expect them to slow down for you. You should be moving alongside of them. That's what I mean about the alimony thing. That's why I hate that when we get in relationships with people and, when it comes down to getting the bag, that we got to go through the gender role. Like the women should be able to get money too. Like, get your money, yo. Like, yo, we could get money together. You could get money on your own. Because listen, I don't like your little cousin. So if your little cousin about to get kicked out, I ain't helping you. Look, I don't like Shorty. You use your own money to help Shorty. Shorty let you use her sneakers when she was little, not me.
So ignorant.
No, but I'm
Stand
dead
this
ass.
nigga, yo.
I'm dead ass though,
That's
right?
real.
Like you need your own money because it's gonna be things that we come on, y'all know that. We be with people, families, we get along with the person. We don't always get along with their families and shit.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? We get along with the person. You happen to be the dopest out your family. That's why we click. But I don't
Right.
like your aunt. I don't fuck with your mother, really, to be honest with you. I'm just
I can
being
say
respectful.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm being
Oh.
respectful. Like I don't even really fuck with your mother. So if she twists her ankle,
Yeah, that's on you and
you
her.
gonna
Y'all
pay
better
for
figure
that.
it out.
You about to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm not gonna support you. I'm gonna support you in that emotionally.
Yes.
That's
You
you
need
gonna
a
get all the
shoulder.
emotional support in the world. Oh, where she fell.
That's fucked
It's
up.
fucked up. It's fucked up,
Yeah.
yo. All right, what
Did
you
it
gonna
twist
do?
like this or did it twist like
Or
this?
like this.
Was she talking
You know,
shit
was
when
it the
she
left
fell?
or the right? You know,
Yeah, where was she
like,
at when she fell? Probably
Y'all got
somewhere
yeah,
is it
was she
popping
running?
shit. Yeah.
Is it a video?
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Who pull up the video? Let me see. I ain't gonna
Pull that
laugh.
up. Let me see that real quick.
Hey, yo, send me that. Yo, matter of fact, don't even pull it up. Send it to me. I'm about to use
Send
the
me that.
bathroom. I'm about to use the bathroom real quick. Send it to
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Make that shit a gift. So every time she falls, she get back up and fall again.
You know what I'm saying?
Word. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you need your own, like, as well as y'all could get money together. I mean, but like I said, well, CJ said this earlier, you know, everybody got a different direction in the way they feel like their relationship should go. And Tamika, you said the same thing. It's up to the person on how they feel like they want their relationship to go. So, you know, everybody might not be entrepreneurs by spirit. But damn, if you work for another company doing data entry, well, damn, come fuck with me. Like,
for real.
click. You on the phones? You work for who? Yo, you on the phone all day? Yo, can you make a couple calls for me over? Like, it's shit you could do, yo. Like, it's always something that y'all could do together to add value. That's what it is. Add value. You know what I mean? So I don't know. With y'all, like I said, I agree with all of y'all tonight. I don't think this might have been one show that we all agree every time.
Oh, fuck that. I'm disagreeing now.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Going against whatever the fuck it is that you just said.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to eat SpaghettiOs with a fork. You know what I'm saying? Not a spoon.
That's right. That's right, yo. That's right. And look, I'm not supposed to put the toilet seat down. What if I gotta go back to the bathroom? Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? But you know, like I said, communication is key. I think all of us agree on that. You know, if you can't communicate with your partner, if you find out that you and your partner is not communicating and things are not clicking with the way that y'all speak to each other, even when you're not yelling and screaming and arguing and all that dumb shit. I like I said, you could go into counseling, go into couples counseling. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you feel. But I believe that at that point, you know what I mean? It's pretty much a telltale sign of the way that the relationship is going to go because y'all did too much communication before y'all got together. What I would hope. I mean, I know people pretty much probably don't talk. They just probably get into some shit, I guess. They like a person.
Somebody that you can have a conversation. I can't imagine myself fucking somebody that I can't even hold a conversation with. Like,
listen,
you ain't even fucking my
mind.
What makes you gonna fuck pussy? I'm confused.
Listen, see, double. That's my point. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt by saying what I'm saying, but you right. You right. I'm trying to get a benefit of the doubt and say, you know, maybe I don't all get into a communication, but you're right. Like, how you giving yourself to somebody that you can't talk? Y'all ain't.
But people don't value sex the same way. People don't see sex.
Well, that's true.
It doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. They can just give it up, and it's nothing. It's just like a handshake. You know, like
I don't even shake hands. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
you know
like
what I'm saying?
people that much. Like,
yeah,
I don't
so
want you touching me in that way. I don't even like you as a person. Like, I don't like people.
Can't cancel the flowers.
But
don't
think
like
about,
people touching me.
Look, cancel the flowers. She don't like people talking. Hey, yo, hey, the delivery driver. Hey, yo, come on back, man. She don't want that shit. You gonna have to talk to her. Come on
Yeah,
back.
don't even worry about it, bro.
She be looking at the flowers. Where you going? He like, nah, you don't talk to people. Fan told me you don't like people.
You don't like people.
He
So,
told me to bring these back.
you know what I'm saying?
Nah, but Tamika, like I get you. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you got that much of a thing when it comes to people, how in the world are you not communicating with a person before you get to whatever level of a commitment it is? You guys have had to have a bunch of communication before y'all got to that. Were y'all able to talk without arguing and disagreeing, or were y'all just saying yes and no just to say yes and no, not really being honest with your feelings just so you could get with the person? Like, I don't know. I can't necessarily say that, but either way, before you get into any scenario with a person, you should be at least having conversations with them. So how y'all can't communicate once you get in a commitment? It should get easier, right? There's so many people who in a relationship with a person and they still got a best friend somewhere. Like, you married or you in a relationship with somebody, but that ain't your best. You got a best friend. You got a best friend you had before you met this person.
Yeah, that your person should be your best friend. I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? But you got this best person, and even with your partner, you can't even inside. You get all the inkling. I know men don't get enough for that intuition thing because they don't talk about it, because that's an emotional part. That's a feminine energy in men that have intuition. And a lot of dudes don't want to live on their intuition because they pride be in the way. They be knowing. They know a lot of shit, but they ain't gonna say nothing. They ain't gonna mention it because it's a pride thing. They'll just hold on to that shit and use their ego to talk them out of something that they know that been dropped in their spirit. Dudes do it all the time.
Every day.
Remember, if it's a thing that women always say, they be like, yo, we more emotional than men. I'm like, nah, y'all more emotionally free. But if you, I don't believe in the way that they set up the creation story as far as like a literal rib being taken from Adam. But like if Isis had the first Adam, it was a guy. They took him down and took some of his DNA, spliced it, and made a female. So that's where that comes from. So they had to get the masculine and feminine energy out of the same body in order to separate it. Duh. So that means that if it's in one, it's in the other. Like, we got both chromosomes when a woman only has one. Like, so that we have that thing. Like, so because we don't stand on it is why we don't get the credit that we get for knowing shit. Motherfucker think that you just out here guessing. And you don't. So that's why the communication, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, how we gonna be in this commitment? We can't communicate. Like, we can't talk now, yo. Like, we here and we can't talk. I know what it is.
What was I having talking about?
I don't know what you eating, but it look good as hell. That's the only thing you worried about.
She fucking that shit up, yo. What is it? Ice cream?
Yes. Made from cashew milk. It's so
cashew milk. Where they get milk from the cashew?
Oh, it's a silly process. You soak them. It's a weird process.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna look. You know what? That's what I need to do. I need to
make your own milk, bro. Make your own milk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now how to make your own milk. We might need to look that up, y'all. Or find a bunch of pregnant women and just have them squeeze off half of their shit to kind of have like a balance. And then
you ain't trying to milk bitches.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because they say, yo, you got
Cambodian breast
milk. Find a way. Cambodian breast milk, yo.
I'm so done with
Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
And you know what? This is so crazy because I was supposed to segue into the other law that they doing out there in Florida, which is they're making it mandatory for DNA testing. Whenever the women, having babies, they're making it mandatory for DNA testing.
Yes, please.
And if you go out for child support, they're making it mandatory that the man has in Florida. So Florida is wilding out. We were supposed to go into that, but I guess you know how that go. But either way it goes, shit changing. Shit changing out here. And it's a lot of states following suit. So all y'all out here that don't know if you the real dad or not, you gonna figure it out. It's coming.
Learn today.
It's coming.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's an excellent
too.
idea.
I think so
That's
too.
awesome idea.
But here's the thing: it's gonna change a lot of things, man.
Like
you know what I mean? It's gonna change a lot of things. because you got to think about it. You know, a lot of people have been able to get by a person thinking that this their kid. And
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that shit shut
Yeah.
down.
You know.
That
That's your problem.
is an economy in its own. Like
Yeah.
it has its own numbers. Like they talk about the women that make money over time. It got its own economy. You know how when they be going over there and say, yo, like we were talking about in Cambodia, yo, Cambodian breast milk. They out here hustling breast milk and shit, yo. That's a commodity, y'all. That's like they like, yo, you make it's Cambodian breast milk is a $5 billion industry. That's how child support is like a $1 billion industry, yo.
But that, I mean, some states, and it's like that in a lot of states. You're absolutely right. A lot of states, actually, when you go for child support, they don't even allow, they're not allowed to take the funds until after they have a DNA test. So I guess that's why I'm like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, 'cause I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in DC, like, you can't, if somebody say, hey, I want to put this person on child support, I think you have to actually take a DNA test before that person can then get child support, because if it's not the dad, they don't have no reason to,
Put them on child support.
Yeah,
Right.
I heard in a lot of
unless they
states-
married.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
heard in a
the
lot
people
of
be
states if
mad.
he was on the birth certificate, that's it.
Yeah.
That's North Carolina. He on a birth certificate, or if you marry and get your kids, or
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
the
it's a
presumed
dub. You
father.
presume the father,
Yeah.
and then you
Right,
go
yeah.
get some life insurance, and you got to put little person on that life insurance, and you got to do that DNA test first, and then you come back, because you'll never ever, a woman will never do a DNA test and come back the kid ain't hers.
No, that's actually a lie.
Unless they switched them at the
What if the baby got switched
On
at birth?
Lifetime, on
I'ma
Lifetime, I watched.
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Come
And
on,
this was
CJ.
happened. This was real. It was
Okay.
an article. This lady, she had they took her kid from her. They took her kid from her because they said that she kidnapped the baby when she had the baby a while ago. Now, at the time of all this, CPS came, got the little boy. She was already pregnant. So she already dealing with this while she's pregnant. They took the little boy. Long story short, they said the only way you'll be able to beat this, because they ran all the DNA. The father was the father, but the mother wasn't the mother, which was the oddest thing they ever seen. I can't remember the medical term for it, but look that shit up. So they was like, the only way you'll get your child back is if we DNA is this test. I mean, this baby that you about to have, and we DNA the baby, swab the baby while we at the hospital. When I mean, she had the fucking police in the room. When she gave birth, she had a lot of fucking witnesses, law enforcement and everything. They took that baby. They did a DNA test on that baby, and it came back that the mother wasn't the mother. Come to find out, she was supposed to have been a twin. It was some shit that happened with her, that she was supposed to have been a twin. So her DNA was coming back as her sister's and not hers. But they knew it was her baby because they watched her. Like, it. That was the crazy. And I seen that shit. That was the crazy. Hold on.
That shit on Lifetime too. You can watch a Lifetime movie about it.
I'm watching.
But
Now you
that's
trying
a
to
one. I
Hold
bet.
on.
But that's
Lifetime
an
movie.
exception. Even that sounds like some shit that'll happen, because they say that like when sometimes one kid eat the other kid or whatever and all that. Like, I get that in the womb. I heard that. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say, that's still like an exception, though. That's like not normal. I guess I can't say.
Yeah, that's
no
not common.
women. Yeah,
common.
I guess I can't say no women ain't gonna come back with a baby ain't theirs, but there's very, very seldom, maybe I should say, or very rare, that a woman gonna have a DNA test on her kid and ain't gonna come back hers. You know what I'm saying? But that's not always the same for a man. You know what I mean? So I guess
mama's baby,
going through all that.
maybe. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole saying for a reason.
That's a fact. So that's why I say, when it comes to certain things, like just piggybacking off of what we was talking about earlier, yo, whether it came to emotional support, financial support, because that's what we started off talking about, financial support. And then, but like y'all said earlier, that emotional support is so serious. It's just as serious as financial. Like they probably neck and neck. I would think. I don't know if one is over the other. I guess that would be, based on the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because some people do get with people for financial. You know what I mean? They might
That's
grow
facts.
to love them later. They might grow to love their ass later. Like
There's
later
a lot
on, I've grew to love you.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of arranged marriages, so we know that people can grow to love someone
Yeah.
or
But if
tolerate.
But if two people who was like, you know what I'm saying, arranged marriage, figure it out, then people who had an opportunity to actually get to know each other before commitment should have more of an opportunity to be able to communicate in a way, or to be able to have a direction that you want to go in a relationship. You know, people get in a relationship, they don't want to know if you're gonna get married or not. Like, fuck all that, yo. Like that's an end result of something, but that's a business proposition too. You going into a business deal too with a person. If when you go into that, I'm gonna marry you and stuff like that, then I mean that then why would you marry somebody that's not on the same page? Like,
foolish.
You got
you other priorities on top of common sense.
Well, hey, it comes to a point where people got to understand, like, yo, if you want your shit to be successful, or do you just want some shit?
Facts.
You know, it's a difference. It's a difference because it's a lot of people who, you know, they just want some shit. That's it. They want to be married. They just want to say they married. They want to call somebody husband or wife, but they don't want to put in the work to secure the relationship portion of it. They just want to run around here with a title.
That's facts.
Lydia Fairchild. Look her up.
Lydia Fairchild.
Look her up. ABC News did a whole. Look her up.
Lydia Fairchild. So all of y'all watching, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a few of y'all jumping off and on I'm looking at tonight. So shout out to y'all. We having a little issue. It's like a little thing going on, y'all. I guess because of the weather and stuff. So I'm not able to pull up the comments. I'm trying to, but it's not allowing me to show them on screen tonight. I don't know why. But just for those of y'all that have been making comments and not wondering why it's not popping up on the screen, it's not actually popping up. I'm not seeing them until after we get all the way down and shit. So it's weird. Like I said, the storm got us going crazy over here, y'all. So I apologize for those of y'all that are watching and have posted comments that we can't show them. But other than that, for the most part, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think at this particular point in time, we all can say that, you know, whether we experienced it or not, or know other people that have gone through it, the number one key to anything successful is communication.
And comprehension.
Yeah.
Ooh, throw that. You got comprehension is the main thing too. Good, yo.
People be struggling on comprehension though.
Yeah, yo. Ooh, that shit right
even
there.
When you're
yo,
direct, even when you say exactly what the fuck you mean,
like, they do not comprehend it, yo.
Don't get it.
You just don't click.
That's what it be. It don't be the communication part. It be the comprehension. That's what be stumbling people. That's what it be. People dumb.
People dumb.
No, you said that. Now you said that right there, yo, because you're right. It's the comprehension part. People don't want to comprehend what you're saying. They hear you.
They hear you. They can communicate. They can tell. I can sit here and I can be a whole ass. So I can sit here and listen to what you say and still try to get my point across and be so, what is it called, passive aggressive, whatever they want to call. I hear what you're saying.
But
exactly. Because they listening to respond, not
listening to respond.
This shit is stuff. Okay, guys, wrap it up, because we're going to be for a whole hour.
But that's some real shit, yo. Listening to understand. I mean, listening to respond, not listening to understand. You know, and then you got to be able to be criticism from your partner. Sometimes, you know, that person is in your life to help you grow. Like, they're not there to put you down. Sometimes you might have to have these uncomfortable conversations with people, but it's to help pull them up. But if a person don't take it that way, then what does that do? Like, what does that do for you as a person that's trying to say, hey, like, listen, we all could use some type of push to get better. Like, if a person already feel like they perfect already and they already clicking on all cylinders and they got it all, well,
can't tell them
you already did it. We can't even grow together.
We can't tell you nothing. Like, we can't tell you nothing. And when you get told something, you can't comprehend it, like y'all said, because you just can't see. Like, you like, nah, that ain't me. Ain't nobody else ever said that. That's because why?
Because you scared for somebody to challenge your punk ass. That's what it is.
Exactly.
I mean,
why you lean in to say that though?
Because she meant that shit.
Yeah, she meant that shit, y'all. She came all the way to the camera.
Yeah.
All in their ear with it.
Right there, yo. When a person whisper to you, you gotta listen to that shit on another level. A person be mad and they start whispering, like, oh, okay.
Like
that.
Now I'm worried. Yeah.
It's like, oh, hold on for a second, yo. I was just yelling at the top of my lungs. Are you whispering? Oh yeah, I can't go to sleep.
No.
Shouldn't. You probably shouldn't.
She's like, yeah, should
sleep like this.
How much gas I got in my car? How much gas I got in my car? Let me go see, man. We gonna fill up.
No.
I ain't want to sleep in my car tonight. The AC on low. You gotta at least break the glass first. I'm gonna wake up.
Right?
Yikes! Somebody start whispering to you? Shit, fuck that.
Shit done got real serious.
I done crossed the wrong line. As soon as the person start whispering, I'm like, you know what?
I take it back. Whatever I said.
Let's just calm down.
You right.
Let's just take this back. You right.
Yeah,
Matter of fact,
right. I don't even know what I was talking about.
I don't even know what I was talking about right now. I think that was some shit that that was from last week. I should have said that shit last week.
Day. Oh, my bad.
I take it back. Motherfucker start whispering, yo. That's dangerous. Listen.
Serious.
Yo, listen. They start whispering, yo. You need to figure out life.
You in the danger zone at that point.
Hell yeah. Especially if you in the middle of an argument and a person just start whispering.
You are?
And talking to somebody who ain't there.
Yeah,
right.
They have a dialogue.
Yo,
they having a whole dialogue. You like,
listen, like, yo, this motherfucker really playing with me, and they be looking too, like looking up, like, yo, this motherfucker really think I'm playing.
Be having a full-fledged conversation, like
looking up to the sky and shit, like they talking to Jesus personally, and he giving the okay. Like,
God be watching me.
It's time.
Yo, I'm about to go. Like, you know what? That's my cue.
Head out.
Yo, I'll call you. If you want to talk, just call me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we ain't talk about this shit later, yo. You whispering and talking to Jesus?
Yeah.
I'll pass. All right, yo. So, to all of y'all that was watching tonight and all y'all that's going to watch this playback, man, I just want to say to y'all, man, if you got anything based on from what we're saying tonight, I think we all can agree. Communication is the number one key to success in any relationship, not just a relationship with your person, but people, places, and things. If you can't communicate and use your words and be able to comprehend, you're not going to be successful in any relationship. If you can't stand to be corrected to, then you'll never be great in any relationship. We all got to be corrected. We all got to learn shit every day. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to figure out some shit every day. I don't care how many times people told you you could do your own taxes. I promise you got to go out there and study every year with the new tax laws.
Leaving money on the table.
You know what I'm saying? Every year you got to learn. Like, you got to be in a position where you're able to learn and you'll be able to take things. And we always talk about tough skin, but until it's time for you to have a tough skin, everybody wants somebody honest until they get somebody honest.
That's facts.
Then now you ain't honest. Now you too blunt. Now you too raw. It's like, damn, like, which word you want? Like, you finding all the words besides the one you asked for. You know what I mean? So either way, all right, yo. So before we get out of here, y'all know how we do, man. Y'all gotta let the people know what y'all got going on and what y'all got coming up. We start with you, Meek, down there.
What do I got going on? I'm just busy working on orders, honestly, this week. Just got a bulk order for 20 journals for a retreat. I'm working on that. Get that shit shipped out tomorrow, most likely. I'm creating new stuff all the time. Definitely hit me up if you're looking to get your life organized. I'm doing a thing called binder planners right now that literally can put everything you need in it. So yeah, check me out. I got y'all.
Yeah, journaling is starting to become it's always been a thing, but it's really high on the list now with people who are manifesting their futures. They've been told to write the vision and make it plain. So people have been writing down a lot more, yo. So you got in a good time, man, because it's gonna pick up because people are writing everything, whether it's whiteboards and people are writing their shit down, looking at it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's making that shit like 3D kind of. It be in your head, and you actually could look at it. And somebody told me if it's something that you want, if you could see it, you could touch it.
Yeah.
I just always, kind of looked at it that way. So I think that's dope.
Because it's like your mind has no limit. So if you think it, you can get to that. Like, because your
Pretty
mind
much.
doesn't think of all the things that are in the way. Oh, well, I don't have enough time. Your mind's not thinking about that shit. You say, I want to do this. Your mind's like, okay, bet. As long as you making that effort, you gonna get there.
Exactly.
That's the important part, the effort. Most people just writing it down and thinking, oh, it's gonna come to me. Nah, bitch, what you do for it though? Like, all you did was write it down.
That's right.
Imagine niggas being a motivational coach. I can't see
right.
It.
I can't.
Yo, she in there cussing people out.
Like,
no working.
I don't sugarcoat when I talk with my clients. Like, I'm real as hell because that's what they need at the end of the day. People been sugarcoating shit for them the whole time. So I'm gonna tell you what's wrong. I'm gonna tell you, nah, this is what needs to happen. Or this is what you need to start looking at, because I'm not here to sugarcoat shit for you. If you paying me, you want me to help you get to where you need to go. So this is how we gonna get there.
Yeah,
I'm going to both y'all motivational camps. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know y'all gonna talk shit, and if you can't take it, I mean, you ain't ready to make change.
Let me tell you, and we don't just be talking shit. We talk shit. We talk shit and be speaking facts.
That's fact.
She slammed the table like domino, bitch. Domino.
Oh, y'all need to take a shower. Hurry up.
Good. Oh, don't gotta rush us now. Go ahead, tell us what you want. Yeah, I gotta take a shower. You over there? You know we just put that clip up about those smells and shit, yo. So go ahead, take care of that. Yeah, get that antibacterial soap popping.
Hold up.
Don't do her like that. Don't do her like that.
Okay, because hold up. Oh, you
Hey yo, CJ, check this out though. But listen, the more and more I thought about that conversation we had about that damn antibacterial soap, I just thought about shit burning for like, I don't know, for about an hour. I thought about all kind of shit that burnt. I think about even when you got a little paper cut and you use antibacterial soap, that shit burn, yo. Like, yo, listen, that shit had me rolling for a few days after that, yo, because I was really thinking, like, damn, antibacterial soap will burn your shit, yo. Like, you gotta be real with that shit, yo. Word up. But what you got going on?
Y'all, so you already know www.preview.career. We be having a website launch pretty soon. We in the making of some really, really, really good shit. Shout out to my husband because he's been busting his ass trying to get this up and off the ground. All right. I also got something else planned. Hopefully I'll be announcing this soon. Hopefully, cross fingers. But yeah, you guys will see. When I ship it.
You gotta bring that sauce back. You gotta bring that sauce back, though. C-Double, you gotta bring that sauce back.
Come on.
I told my husband, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna cook some. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have some the next time we film.
Y'all gotta bring it back, though, yo. Bottle it up, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Kev, what you got going on, Kev?
Right, you gotta bring it on set. You know what I'm saying? We about to we're gonna put an event together. That's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And just let people find different ways to use the sauce. That way we can get it in a restaurant or something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Get it in a restaurant. Get it in a restaurant.
Look, my man already said you gotta bring something in the sample. Y'all said it go good on that fried food. So
yeah.
Y'all hungry now. Okay.
Nah, yo, get it. Come on, yo. Look, we do content and everything behind it.
We do it all.
You know how we do. We gotta support each other, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, that's the only way we're gonna get there. Yo. We gotta do it. What you got going on, Kev?
And simple things that I can talk about in the process of renewing my real estate license. Had to pay for these classes. Oh God. But once that's done, once that's done, I'll be able to get back active, and then we'll be able to get some things popped off in that arena. Working on some things in another arena. Y'all be thinking I'm bullshitting. I do got a new song coming out. I'm just trying to make sure I can clear the sample. You know what I'm saying? Like, your boy do music. That's where the illy come from, if y'all didn't know. Of course, on set, look out for the new series. You know what I'm saying? Rocking the Team Collective, where, you know what I'm saying, make sure the link's in the bio. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got to get on this. You know what I'm saying? Get on the train. Get on the train while it's at the station. Don't wait till we take off. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait till it take off and be running behind it, because you ain't fast enough.
Cat said you ain't fast enough, yo. You ain't gonna
fast
catch
enough.
it, yo. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna catch it, yo. That train leave the station. It's a dub, yo.
It's a dub. That's it.
Word.
That's it.
Well, yeah, shout out to y'all, man. And then all right, so what we got going on? We got the Fish Fry series popping right now, yo. We've been filming, we've been getting a lot of content. Last couple of weekends, yo, we've been knocking shit out. We got some more get outs coming. Those joints is gonna be crazy. What else? Oh, like Kev was talking on the real estate end, we working on some things on that end, which is really crazy. So we'll have some things coming up soon. I'm gonna do a thing called the LLC luncheon. That's gonna come up in the fall, where we get all the people who got LLCs and we get them together in a room, and then we all help each other get to the next level. We find out what your business is with this business and find out how we can cross promote, because we understand that marketing is the most expensive part about having a business. Besides whatever business you're doing, I don't know, equipment and all that other shit, but marketing and actually getting it out to the people is the most important, but it is the most expensive part of it. So learning different ways and being able to leverage social media and being able to merge brands is how we become a conglomerate. And at some point, we got to be able to think that way. We can't just think one, unit. You can't just think one way. We're gonna have to think conglomerate. We're gonna have to think enterprise for real. And then the more that we could do these things, the faster that we'll be able to grow. It's just like CJ, where people need jobs. Yo, we know that there's people who are influencers, and yo, you could be on a website testing the website out with your people. Like, you could work these things out. So it's like we could cross promote. So we got something going on that end. So besides the content and the gear and all that other shit, y'all just make sure y'all continue to follow us, and it's gonna keep going, man. We just gonna continue to keep pushing out this shit, y'all. And so before we get out of here tonight, I want to thank each and every person that jumped on live. The people who did submit comments, I apologize. Like I said, I got some issues going on with the system, so we weren't able to show it. But thank y'all anyway for participating. Hopefully y'all come back next week when we jump on, and everything will be straight by then, and we can have everybody that did comment jump on, and we get this thing rolling, y'all. So double shout out to all of y'all, man. Double shout out to the people that download. And like I said, man, you know how we do, man. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will, yo. So until next week, y'all hold it down out there, all right?